3 weeks had passed since the Battle of Kairos. The planet was slowly healing. The fires had stopped. The smoke was clearing. The surviving Lauren were coming out of hiding and starting to rebuild their lives. Tay sat on a rock overlooking what used to be the capital city. His wounds had healed mostly, thanks to Sue's medical skills. But some scars would stay forever. He did not mind. Scars were proof that he had survived. Yuna walked up and sat beside him. She looked tired but satisfied. The mission was over. They had won. Against all odds, 12 humans had defeated an army of demons. The Galactic Council is sending their fleet, Yuna said. They will arrive tomorrow. 5,000 troops, medical supplies, construction equipment. Everything Kairos needs to recover. Tay nodded. Good. The Lauren deserve peace after what they have been through. The Council wants to meet with us. They have questions about how we defeated the Vrekti. Let them ask. We have nothing to hide. Yuna smiled slightly. They are afraid of us, you know? Not just the aliens. Everyone. Word has spread about what we did here. The entire galaxy knows that 12 humans killed the demon commander and his army. Tay looked at her. Are you worried about that? No, Yuna replied. Let them be afraid. Fear can be useful. It can prevent wars. It can protect the innocent. Down in the city, the rest of the squad was helping the Lauren survivors. Sue was treating the wounded with gentle hands. Hyan was helping clear rubble from the streets. Even Gina, the quiet ghost, was carrying supplies and distributing food. Day sat on top of a tall building, watching the horizon. His rifle was always nearby. Even in peace, he stayed ready for war. That was just how he was. Minho was laughing with a group of young Lauren children. He was showing them magic tricks with small explosions that were harmless but beautiful. The children were amazed. They had never seen fire that did not hurt. Juan was teaching some Lauren adults basic self-defense moves. They were clumsy and slow, but they were learning. They never wanted to feel helpless again. They never wanted to be victims again. A transport ship appeared in the sky. It was not from the Galactic Council. This ship was smaller, older, and had the marks of a long journey. It landed near the edge of the city. Tay stood up and walked toward it. Yuna followed close behind. The rest of the squad noticed and started gathering nearby, just in case. The ship's door opened. An alien stepped out. He was tall and thin, with gray skin and large black eyes. He was from a species called the Kareth. They were scholars and historians. They traveled the galaxy, recording events and stories. Commander Tay? The alien asked. His voice was soft and curious. Yes, Tay replied. Who are you? My name is Boren. I am a historian. I have traveled far to meet you. He looked around at the humans with wonder in his eyes. I have heard the stories. I did not believe them at first, but now I see it is true. You really did defeat the Vrekti. We did what was necessary, Tay said simply. Necessary? Boren laughed softly. You did the impossible. The Vrekti have terrorized this galaxy for 10,000 years. They have destroyed hundreds of planets. No one has ever stopped them. And then you came. 12 humans. Just 12. And you broke them. He stepped closer to Tay. I need to understand how. I need to record your story. The galaxy needs to know about humans. About what you are capable of. Tay was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke. Humans are not special. We are not stronger than other species. We are not faster or smarter. Our bodies are soft. We break easily. We die easily. Then how did you win? Boren asked. Because we refuse to give up, Tay replied. Because when everything seems lost, we fight harder. Because we have learned, through thousands of years of war against each other, that surrender means death. Other species avoid conflict. They seek peace. They run from danger. But humans? We run toward it. Eunice stepped forward. We call it stubbornness, or madness, or courage. It has many names, but the result is the same. We do not stop. We cannot stop, even when we should. Lauren recorded every word. His hands were shaking with excitement. This was the greatest story he had ever found. And these special forces, Boren continued, what makes them different from other humans? Hyon laughed from behind them. We are the craziest ones. The ones who volunteer for missions that should be impossible. The ones who smile when we should be screaming. The ones who have looked death in the face so many times that we have become friends. Gina spoke quietly, which surprised everyone. She rarely spoke at all. We are what humanity creates when it needs monsters of its own. We are the darkness that fights the darkness. Boren turned to Tay again. And you? What are you, Commander? Tay thought about the question. What was he? A soldier? A killer? A leader? All of those things, yes. But also something more. I am just a human who loves his people, Tay finally said. I will do anything to protect them. Anything. That is what makes me dangerous. That is what makes all of us dangerous. We have something worth fighting for. The next day, the Galactic Council fleet arrived. Thousands of ships filled the sky above Kairos. Troops landed and began helping with the reconstruction. Diplomats and leaders came to meet the heroes who had saved the planet. The squad stood together in a line, watching the chaos around them. They were offered medals and rewards and honors. They refused everything except ammunition and new weapons. We have more work to do, Tay explained to the confused diplomats. There are other planets that need help. Other monsters that need killing. The Galactic Council offered them command of entire armies. They refused that too. We work better small, Una said. Armies are slow and loud. We are fast and quiet. That is our strength. Before they left Kairos, the squad visited the Lauren survivors one last time. The blue-skinned aliens gathered to say goodbye. They had no words to express their gratitude. So they simply bowed in silence. An elderly Lauren female approached Tay. She took his hands in her own. Her eyes were wet with tears. We will never forget you, she said softly. Our children will tell stories about you. Our grandchildren will sing songs about you. For as long as the Lauren exist, we will remember the humans who saved us. Tay squeezed her hands gently. Live well, rebuild, grow strong. That is the best way to honor those who died here. The squad boarded their transport ship. The engines hummed to life. The door closed. Through the window, they could see the Lauren waving goodbye. As the ship rose into the sky, Day looked at his teammates. They were tired, scarred, and changed by what they had experienced. But they were also proud. They had done something incredible. Where to next, Commander? Day asked. Tay looked at a star map on the ship's display. Red markers showed planets under threat. There were many of them. Too many. The Andara system, Tay decided. Reports say a new threat has emerged there. Something called the Hollow. They are consuming entire populations. Hyon cracked his knuckles. Sounds fun. Gina checked her blades. Minho started preparing new explosives. Sue organized medical supplies. The others prepared in their own ways. Una stood beside Tay. The galaxy is learning about us. Word is spreading. Soon, every monster out there will know about humans. Good, Tay replied. Let them know. Let them prepare. Let them do their worst. He turned to face his squad with fire in his eyes. Because no matter what comes, no matter how dark things get, we will be there. We will fight. We will win. The ship jumped into hyperspace, carrying 12 humans toward another impossible mission. Behind them, on planets across the galaxy, a new legend was growing. A legend about creatures who were soft and weak and mortal. A legend about beings who refused to surrender, refused to run, refused to die. A legend about special forces thought the monsters of the galaxy had a new nightmare. And its name was humanity. The sun rose over Kairos with blood-red light. The sky was filled with smoke and ash. The air tasted like death. It was a perfect day for a final battle. Vorthen walked out of his camp alone. His massive body moved with ancient power. Each step left deep prints in the scorched earth. His forearms hung at his sides, ready to kill. His eyeless face turned toward the destroyed city where the humans waited. Behind him, what remained of his army watched in silence. They did not follow. They were too afraid. Not of the humans. Not anymore. They were afraid of Vorthen. They knew that if they failed again, he would kill them himself. Tay stood in the center of the city. He had sent his squad to different positions around the area. They formed a wide circle, a trap with no escape. But Tay did not hide. He waited in the open, alone, watching the demon commander approach. Yuna's voice came through his communicator. He is coming along. This could be a trap. It is not a trap, Tay replied. He is too proud to use tricks. He wants to kill us with his own hands. Then let me be there with you. No. Everyone stays in position. If I fall, you lead the squad. Finish the mission. There was silence on the communicator. Then Yuna spoke again, her voice hard. You will not fall. Tay almost smiled. I know. Vorthen entered the city. He saw the human waiting for him. Just one human. Small and weak-looking. How could such a creature cause so much death? How could it defeat the mighty Rakti? You, Vorthen growled. His voice was like thunder. You are their leader. Tay nodded. I am. I have destroyed worlds. I have killed billions. I have eaten the hearts of heroes and kings. And you think you can stand against me? Tay did not move. His eyes were steady. His voice was calm. I do not think. I know. Vorthen laughed. It was a horrible sound, like rocks grinding together. Such arrogance. I will enjoy breaking you slowly. You talk too much, said Tay. All you demons do. You talk about how strong you are, how scary you are, how unbeatable you are. But I have seen the truth. What truth? Tay raised his weapon. You are afraid. For the first time in your long life, you are afraid. I can see it in the way you move. I can hear it in your voice. You came here alone because you did not want your warriors to see you fail. Vorthen roared with rage. He charged at Tay with incredible speed. His forearms swung like deadly windmills. Each strike could crush a building. Tay moved. He did not try to block. He did not try to run. He simply stepped aside at the last moment, letting the massive claws pass by his body by centimeters. Then he fired. His bullets hit Vorthen's joints. The armor there was weaker. Black blood sprayed from the wounds. Vorthen stumbled but did not fall. He turned and attacked again. The battle was fierce. Tay was faster, but Vorthen was stronger. Tay was smarter, but Vorthen had 3,000 years of experience. They fought across the ruined city, destroying everything around them. Tay's squad watched from their positions. They wanted to help. They wanted to join the fight, but they obeyed their commander's orders. They stayed in position and waited. He is taking too much damage, Sue said through the communicator. She could see Tay's wounds from her position. Cuts and bruises covered his body. His armor was cracked. Blood ran down his face. He knows what he is doing, replied Yuna, but her voice was worried. Vorthen grabbed Tay by the leg and threw him through a wall. Tay crashed into a building and did not move for a moment. Vorthen laughed and walked toward him slowly. "Is this the best humanity has to offer?" Vorthen mocked. "You are weak. Your species is weak. After I kill you, I will find your home planet. I will destroy every human in existence. Your children will curse your name for bringing this doom upon them." Tay stood up slowly. His body was broken. His weapons were almost empty, but his eyes were still burning with determination. "You still do not understand," Tay said, spitting blood on the ground. "We are not here to beat you with strength. We are here to show you something." "Show me what?" "What real monsters look like." Tay pressed a button on his belt. A signal went out to his squad that the trap was sprung. Explosions erupted around Vorthen. The ground beneath him collapsed, and he fell into a pit filled with burning chemicals. Flames engulfed his body. He screamed in agony and tried to climb out. Tay's rifle cracked from far away. A special bullet hit Vorthen's shoulder joint. His right arm went limp. Another shot. Another arm fell useless. Gina appeared from the shadows. Her blades cut deep into Vorthen's legs. He fell to his knees. Black blood poured from dozens of wounds. Hyan walked forward with a massive gun. He fired at Vorthen's chest, punching holes through his ancient armor. "This is for all the worlds you destroyed," he said coldly. The entire squad emerged from their hiding positions. They surrounded Vorthen. Each of them had a weapon pointed at him. Each of them wanted him dead. Vorthen looked around at the humans. They were small. They were soft. They should not have been able to do this. And yet, here he was, the greatest demon commander in history, on his knees before them. "What are you?" Vorthen whispered. His voice was no longer proud. It was broken. "What kind of creatures are you?" Tay limped forward. He was badly hurt, but he was alive. He looked down at the demon commander with cold eyes. "We are humans," Tay said. "We are the children of a small planet called Earth. We have fought wars against each other for thousands of years. We have killed our own kind in numbers you cannot imagine. We invented cruelty that makes your methods look gentle." He leaned closer to Vorthen. "You think you are monsters? You are nothing. We have monsters in our history that would make you cry. We have done terrible things to survive. And we learned something important." "What?" Vorthen gasped. "That the greatest weapon is not strength or speed or armor. It is the will to keep fighting when everything seems lost. It is the refusal to give up. It is the ability to become something dark and terrible when we need to protect what we love." Tay raised his pistol and pressed it against Vorthen's head. "You should have never come to this galaxy. You should have never threatened innocent lives. Because now you have woken something that should have stayed sleeping." Vorthen looked into Tay's eyes. For the first time in 3,000 years, he understood true fear. These humans were not just warriors. They were something else. Something older and darker than any demon. "Please," Vorthen whispered. The word felt strange on his tongue. He had never used it before. Tay's finger tightened on the trigger. The Vrakti feed on fear and pain. "You enjoy suffering. You think it makes you powerful." He leaned even closer, his voice dropping to a whisper. "But we do not feed on fear. We create it. We are what monsters have nightmares about." The gunshot echoed across the ruined city. Vorthen, the terror of 47 planets, fell dead on the ground. Tay stood over the body. His squad gathered around him. They were injured, tired, and bloody. But they had won. They had killed a demon that had lived for 3,000 years to dot in the distance. The remaining demon army saw their commander fall. They saw the humans standing victorious. And they did the only thing that made sense. They ran. They ran back to their ships. They ran off the planet. They ran into space as fast as they could go. The Vrekti, the terror of the galaxy, ran from 12 humans. And across the stars, a new story began to spread. A story about creatures called humans. A story about something called special forces. A story about monsters that even demons feared. Vorthan stood in the center of his massive camp. Around him, 10,000 demon warriors waited. They were the strongest army in the galaxy. They had never lost a battle. They had never known defeat. But today, something was different. The air felt wrong. The demons were restless. Whispers spread through the camp like poison. Stories about the small creatures who had killed their brothers. Stories about monsters who moved through shadows and brought death. Enough! Vorthan roared. His voice shook the ground. They're just animals. Weak, soft animals. We have crushed entire civilizations. We have eaten the hearts of kings and emperors. We will not fear some insects. The demons cheered. Their confidence returned. Yes, they were the Vrekti. They were the terror of the galaxy. No small group of creatures could stop them. 5,000 warriors. Vorthan commanded. Go into the city. Find these humans. Bring me their bodies. I want to eat their flesh myself. 5,000 demons marched toward the destroyed city. The ground shook under their feet. Buildings that were still standing trembled. Dust rose into the air like brown clouds. Tay watched them coming. He stood on a rooftop with Yuna beside him. His face was calm. His eyes were calculating. 5,000, Yuna said. That is a lot more than before. Yes, Tay agreed. We cannot fight them directly. We need to change our approach. What do you have in mind? Tay smiled. It was a dangerous smile. We are going to hunt them. The demon army entered the city with confidence. They spread out in waves, hundreds at a time. They searched every building, every street, every shadow. They were ready for ambush now. They were ready for traps, but they were not ready for what the humans had planned. The first attack came at noon. A group of 50 demons were searching a factory building. They found nothing. They turned to leave. The door behind them closed and locked. Then the lights went out. The demons could sense heat and movement. They could see in darkness. But they could not see Gina. She had learned to control her body temperature. She had learned to move without making any vibrations. To demon senses, she did not exist. Screams echoed from inside the factory. The demons outside heard their brothers dying. They heard roars of pain and confusion. They heard the sound of flesh being cut. When the screams stopped, the door opened. Gina walked out alone. Behind her, 50 demon bodies lay in pieces on the factory floor. She was covered in black blood from head to toe. Her eyes were empty and cold. The demons outside stared at her. They could not believe what they were seeing. One small human female had killed 50 warriors, alone. In darkness, Gina looked at them. She raised her bloody blade and pointed at them. Then she vanished into the shadows. The demons ran. They actually ran. For the first time in their lives, they ran away from an enemy. Word spread through the demon army. The stories grew worse with each telling. There was a ghost in the city. A female ghost with blades for hands. She could not be seen. She could not be stopped. She would find you in the dark and cut you apart. But Gina was not the only hunter in the city. Day had moved to a new position. He was 3 kilometers away from the demon army, hidden in the ruins of a hospital. His rifle had been modified. It could now fire special bullets that exploded after entering a body. He aimed at the demon officers. They were easy to spot. They were bigger, louder, and they gave orders. Day watched them through his scope. He waited for the perfect moment. The first shot hit a demon commander in the chest. The bullet went through his armor like it was paper. Then it exploded inside his body. The commander burst apart from the inside. Pieces of him flew in all directions. The other demons panicked. Where had the shot come from? They looked around, but saw nothing. They could not sense any enemy nearby. The shooter was too far away. They fired again. Another commander died. Then another. And another. In 10 minutes, every demon commander was dead. The army had no leaders. The warriors did not know what to do. They stood in the streets, confused and scared. That was when Minho triggered the traps. Explosions ripped through the demon ranks. Buildings collapsed. Streets opened up and swallowed demons whole. Fire erupted from underground gas lines. The entire city became a death trap. Hyan led a small team through the chaos. They moved fast and hard, hitting demon groups from behind and then disappearing. They did not stay to fight. They just killed and ran. Over here, ugly. Hyan shouted at a group of demons. They charged at him. He ran around the corner. The demons followed. They ran straight into a wall of explosives. Hyan covered his ears as the explosion went off. When the smoke cleared, nothing was left of the demons except black stains on the ground. Too easy, Hyan laughed. Way too easy. Sue moved through the battlefield like an angel of death. She was the team medic, yes, but she was also a trained killer. Her hands could heal, and they could hurt. Today, they only hurt. She found a group of demons surrounding a building where Lauren survivors were hiding. The aliens were crying and screaming. The demons were laughing, enjoying their fear. Sue felt something dark rise inside her. These creatures enjoyed hurting innocents. They fed on pain. They were monsters in the truest sense. She attacked without warning. Her weapons were small, designed for close combat. But in her hands, they were deadly. She moved between the demons like water through rocks. Each strike was precise. Each hit was fatal. The Lauren survivors watched in shock as the small human female killed a dozen demons by herself. When it was over, Sue turned to them with gentle eyes. "You are safe now," she said softly. "Stay here. Help is coming." The battle lasted all day. By sunset, over 3,000 demons were dead. The rest had retreated. They ran back to Vorthan's camp with terror in their hearts. The humans gathered on a hilltop overlooking the city. They were tired but not broken. They were bloody but not beaten. They looked at the destruction below with satisfaction. 3,000 dead, reported Yuna. The rest ran like animals. "They are learning," said Tay. "They are starting to understand." "Understand what?" asked Day. Tay looked at the young sniper. "That they are not the hunters anymore. They are the prey." In the demon camp, chaos was spreading. Warriors were fighting each other. Some wanted to continue the attack. Others wanted to leave this planet and never return. Fear had broken their unity. Fear had shattered their confidence. Vorthan watched his army fall apart. His ancient heart burned with rage. 3,000 years of victory, and now this. Defeat. Humiliation. His warriors, the terror of the galaxy, were running from 12 humans. 12 humans. Vorthan made a decision. He would not send more warriors. He would go himself. He would find these humans and kill them with his own hands. He would show the galaxy that the Vrakti were still supreme. "Tomorrow," Vorthan growled to himself. "Tomorrow, I will end this myself." On the hilltop, Tay felt something. A cold wind blew across his face. He looked toward the demon camp in the distance. He could not see Vorthan, but he could sense him. A powerful enemy. The strongest he had ever faced. "He is coming," Tay said quietly. Yuna stood beside him. "A big one?" "The commander?" "Yes." Tay gripped his weapon tighter. "Tomorrow we end this. One way or another." The night fell over Kairos. The humans rested and prepared. The demons trembled and waited. And somewhere between them, death was getting ready for its biggest harvest yet. The demon commander was called Vorthan. He had lived for over 3,000 years. He had destroyed 47 planets. He had killed millions of beings across the galaxy. No army had ever stopped him. No weapon had ever hurt him badly. He was the strongest of all Vrakti, and he was proud of it. When his scouts did not return, Vorthan was confused. Scouts always returned. If there was danger, they would at least send a signal. But there was nothing. Just silence. Then came the news. A survivor, badly wounded, crawled back to the demon camp. He was missing 2 arms and half his face. His black blood dripped on the ground as he spoke. "Monsters," the scout said before dying. "Small monsters. They killed everyone." Vorthan did not understand. Small monsters? On this planet, there was nothing left that could fight. The Lauren were weak. They had already surrendered. There were no warriors here. "Find them," Vorthan commanded. "Bring them to me alive. I want to see what killed my scouts." He sent 200 of his best warriors. They marched into the destroyed city with confidence. They were not afraid. They never needed to be afraid. The Vrakti were the most feared creatures in the entire galaxy. Nothing could challenge them. The warriors found the bodies of the scouts. They saw the burn marks from explosives. They saw the bullet holes. They saw the clean cuts from blades. This was not random violence. This was military precision. This was the work of trained killers. "Spread out," the warrior captain ordered. "Search every building. Kill anything that moves." The demons spread through the ruins. They moved carefully now. Something had changed. The air felt different. The shadows seemed darker. For the first time in their long lives, some of them felt something strange in their chests. They did not recognize the feeling. It was fear. Sergeant Hyan watched them from a broken window on the 3rd floor of a destroyed building. He counted the demons as they passed below. His old eyes missed nothing. 200 targets, he reported through his communicator. Armed with those energy blades they like. Moving in groups of 10. "Copy that," replied Tay. "Everyone knows the plan. Wait for my command." The squad was spread across the city. They had prepared traps. They had chosen positions. They had studied demon behavior during their journey here. They knew how the Vrakti fought. They knew their strengths and weaknesses. The demons were strong and fast. Their skin was tough like armor. Normal bullets did not hurt them much. But their joints were weaker. Their eyes, or the sensors where eyes should be, were sensitive to bright light. They could not see well in water or smoke. They communicated through sounds that humans could not hear, which meant their communications could be blocked. The humans had prepared for everything. Day sat on top of a tall building half a kilometer away. His rifle was special. It fired bullets made from dense metal that could cut through demon skin. He looked through his scope and waited. "I have visual on 20 targets in Sector 4, Day said calmly. "Ready when you are, Commander." Gina was hiding in the basement of a shopping center. She could hear demons walking above her. Their heavy feet made the floor shake. She held her breath and waited. Her blades were sharp. Her mind was empty. She was ready. Minho had placed explosives everywhere. On buildings, under streets, inside vehicles. The entire city was now a weapon. One signal from Tay, and the ground itself would become fire. Yuna moved through the shadows like water. She was tracking the demon captain. He was bigger than the others, louder, more confident. He gave orders and expected them to be followed. He was a leader. Leaders were always the first to die. "The captain is separated from his main group," Yuna reported. "Only 6 guards with him. Take him," said Tay. Yuna smiled. It was not a nice smile. It was the smile of a hunter who had found her prey. She moved without sound. The first demon never saw her. Her knife went into the base of its skull, where the armor was thin. It fell without making a noise. She caught the body and lowered it to the ground gently. The second demon turned at exactly the wrong moment. Yuna's blade cut across its throat. Black blood sprayed into the air. Before the body hit the ground, she was already moving to the next target. The demon captain heard something. He turned around. His guards were gone. All 6 of them lay on the ground, dead or dying. Standing in front of him was a small human female. She was covered in black demon blood. Her eyes were cold like ice. "What are you?" The captain growled. Yuna did not answer. She attacked. The captain was fast. He swung his 4 arms at her with deadly force. Each strike could crush stone. Each claw could tear through metal. But Yuna was faster. She ducked, dodged, and weaved between his attacks like she was dancing. Her blade found the joints in his arms. 1 cut, 2 cuts, 3 cuts. The captain screamed as his limbs stopped working. He fell to his knees. Yuna stood in front of him, not even breathing hard. "Humans," she said quietly. "We are humans." Then she finished him. Across the city, the battle began in full. Tay gave the signal, and chaos erupted. Explosions tore through demon groups. Bullets rained from hidden positions. The shadows came alive with blades and death. The demons tried to fight back. They roared and charged and swung their claws. But they could not find their enemies. The humans were like ghosts. They appeared, killed, and vanished before the demons could react. Hyan stood his ground in a narrow alley. Demons came at him one by one, forced to attack in a straight line because of the tight space. His rifle never stopped firing. Bodies piled up in front of him like a wall. "Come on," Hyan shouted. "Is that all you have? I have fought tougher things in my kitchen." They fired shot after shot from his high position. Each bullet found its mark. Demon after demon fell with holes in their heads or hearts. He did not miss. He never missed. Gina danced through the chaos like a ghost made of blades. Demons fell around her in pieces. They could not touch her. They could not catch her. She was too fast, too skilled, too deadly. Minho laughed as he triggered explosion after explosion. The ground shook. Buildings collapsed on top of demon groups. Fire filled the streets. "Happy birthday to you," he sang as another bomb went off. In less than 20 minutes, 200 demons were dead. The humans gathered in the city center once again. They checked their weapons and counted their ammunition. Some had small injuries. "Nothing serious. Report," said Tay. "No casualties," replied Yuna. "Sue has a cut on her arm." Juan took a hit to the chest, but his armor held. Tay nodded. "Good. Reload and prepare for the next wave." They all knew what was coming. Vorthan would not ignore this. He would send more troops. He would come himself. The real battle was just beginning, but for now, they had won. Again, far away, Vorthan received the news. Another 200 warriors dead. Killed by a small group of creatures called humans. For the first time in 3,000 years, Vorthan felt something cold in his ancient heart. He did not know what it was. He had never felt it before, but he would learn its name soon enough. It was called fear. The sky above planet Kairos burned red and orange. Smoke rose from the cities below. Fire spread across the forests and mountains. The Vrakti demons had arrived 3 days ago, and they had destroyed almost everything. Commander Tay stood at the window of the military transport ship. He watched the destruction below with calm eyes. His face showed no fear. His hands did not shake. He had seen worse things in his 32 years of life. He had done worse things too. Behind him, his squad prepared their weapons and gear. There were only 12 of them. 12 humans against an army of demons that had killed millions. The galaxy thought they were crazy. The galaxy was probably right. "Commander," said Yuna, his second in command. She walked up beside him and looked at the burning planet. "The Galactic Council says we should wait for backup. They want to send 5,000 troops." Tay did not turn his head. "And how long will that take?" 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, everyone on this planet will be dead." Tay finally looked at her. His eyes were dark and serious. "We go now." Yuna nodded. She did not argue. She never argued with Tay, not because she was afraid of him, but because she knew he was always right about these things. They had fought together for 8 years. She had watched him make impossible decisions and win impossible battles. The transport ship began its descent. The squad gathered near the exit door. Sergeant Hyan checked his rifle one more time. He was the oldest member of the team at 45 years. His hair was gray, but his body was still strong. His eyes were sharp. He had been killing enemies since before some of his teammates were born. Next to him stood Gina. She was small and quiet. She rarely spoke more than a few words, but her hands were fast and her blades were faster. She had killed more enemies in close combat than anyone else in the unit. The other soldiers called her a ghost because her victims never saw her coming. Day was the youngest. He was only 23, but he was the best sniper in the entire human military. He could hit a target from 3 kilometers away. He could shoot the wings off a fly if he wanted to. He sat in the corner, cleaning his long rifle with careful hands. The others were equally dangerous. Minho handled explosives. Sue was their medic, but she could fight as well as any soldier. Juan was an expert in hand-to-hand combat. Each member of this squad had been chosen for their skills and their minds. They were not normal soldiers. They were special forces. The ship landed hard on the ground. The door opened and hot air rushed inside. It smelled like smoke and death. Tay stepped out first. His boots touched the burned grass. He looked around at the destroyed landscape. "Welcome to hell," said Hyan, with a small smile. "I have been to worse places," replied Tay. They moved quickly and quietly through the ruins of what was once a city. Buildings had fallen. Bodies lay everywhere. Most of them were not human. The people of Kairos were a peaceful alien race called Deloran. They had blue skin and gentle faces. They had never known war. They had no weapons, no armies. When the demons came, they had no way to fight back. Tay looked at the dead Lorn without emotion. He could not save them. They were already gone. But he could make sure no more would die. He could make the demons pay. "I am detecting movement ahead," said Sue. She looked at her scanner. "About 50 targets." "They are big?" "Recti scouts," said Yuna. "Probably looking for survivors to kill." The Vrekti demons were terrifying creatures. They stood 3 meters tall. Their skin was black like coal. They had 4 arms, each ending in sharp claws. Their faces had no eyes, but they could sense heat and movement. Their mouths were filled with teeth like knives. They fed on fear and pain. They enjoyed killing slowly. Every species in the galaxy feared them. When the Vrekti invaded a planet, that planet died. No one had ever defeated them. Armies of thousands had tried and failed. The demons were too strong, too fast, too savage. But Tay was not afraid. Neither were his soldiers. "Formation Delta," Tay said quietly. His squad moved without making a sound. They spread out and took positions among the ruins. Each soldier knew exactly what to do. They had trained for years. They had fought together in dozens of battles. They moved like one organism with 12 bodies. Tay watched the demons approach. They walked through the destroyed city like they owned it. They laughed and made ugly sounds. One of them carried a dead Lauren child in its claws. It was playing with the body like a toy. Something cold and hard grew in Tay's chest. It was not fear. It was anger. Pure, focused anger. He had seen monsters before. He had killed many of them. But these creatures were different. They enjoyed suffering. They loved death. They were evil in its purest form. On my signal, Tay whispered into his communicator. The demons came closer. 20 meters. 15 meters. 10 meters. Now. The night exploded with gunfire. Minho's explosives went off first, tearing through the demon ranks. Bodies flew through the air. Tay's rifle cracked 3 times, and 3 demon heads burst apart. Hyan and the others opened fire with their automatic weapons. The demons screamed. They were confused. They were not used to being attacked. They were not used to pain. For a moment, they did not know what to do. That moment was enough. Gina appeared from the shadows like smoke. Her blades flashed silver in the firelight. She cut through demon flesh like it was paper. One demon fell, then another, then another. They could not see her. They could not catch her. By the time they turned around, she was already behind them again. Tay walked forward slowly. He fired his pistol with perfect accuracy. Each shot found its target. Each bullet killed. He did not waste ammunition. He did not miss. In less than 2 minutes, all 50 demons were dead. The squad gathered in the center of the carnage. They were not even breathing hard. They were not injured. They looked at the demon bodies with cold satisfaction. That was easy, said Hyan. That was nothing, replied Tay. The real fight is coming. He looked toward the horizon, where the main demon army waited. There were thousands of them, maybe tens of thousands. But now they know we are here. Yuna reloaded her weapon. Good, let them come. Somewhere in the darkness, the demons were already spreading the news. Something new had arrived on Kairos, something dangerous, something that did not fear them. The humans had come, and they were hungry for blood.